Craig, overall, Real Madrid didn't even have to be at their best today.
No, it was a walk in the park in the end until the end. Look, file this in the drawer that says more second-rate performances from Italian teams in Europe's elite competition this season. And spare me the Lazio are still alive, because Bayern Munich could have won that game with one leg and a blindfold on. So, you throw in Juventus and how poor they were. You throw in Inter Milan finishing bottom of their group, not even making the Europa League. And yeah, maybe that will save them in terms of winning Serie A. But we're talking about the Champions League here. And then little old Atalanta, who had a great opportunity, albeit being 1-0 down, to go away from home to a team that have not been great, to a team that had to make changes, and they were limp until the last 15, 20 minutes. So, yeah, Real Madrid, Dan, I don't think they'll win this competition because I don't think they're good enough this season. Might be wrong, but they've won a watch on this occasion.
Yeah, they certainly have, because this game wasn't at the Bernabeu. It was at an empty Valdebebas. It's a Real Madrid team who, let's not forget, have lost to Shakhtar in the group stages, who've looked poor this season. Yet Atalanta looked beaten before they even started this game.
They look like a team that didn't quite belong in the competition, that knew it was going to be difficult, and so therefore they just kind of say, you know what, this is Real Madrid. It's almost as if they were playing against the ghost of Real Madrid, against Butragueño and Ronaldo and Hugo Sanchez and Schuster and all these historic names that have gone through Real Madrid. None of those guys were playing today. Yeah. And this version of Real Madrid, even today, underwhelming. It's Karim Benzema and everybody else, and yet Atalanta never played the game that they should have been playing, which is about transition, which is about open play, trying to challenge him behind. It was all control from Toni Kroos and Luka Modric. They dictated the pace of the game. Real Madrid crowded the midfield, played with the back three, 5 through the midfield, and Atalanta were never able to stretch their legs, nor they were able to press Real Madrid, force mistakes, trying to go and transition themselves. In fact, I would say that if you look at the transition game, it was all Vinicius was the one that was providing that for Real Madrid. They were the team that were actually getting into space, and he could have scored and should have scored a couple of goals himself, draws a penalty. Karim Benzema scores again. Mistake from Sportiello, the goalkeeper from Atalanta, really put Atalanta in a really uncomfortable position. But overall, you just look at Atalanta and says, is this a team that's supposed to be fun to watch, that are exciting to watch, that can score goals or fun? They didn't look like that until the last 15 minutes of the game when they were desperate.
That first half, everything about the first half was in slow motion pretty much, Frank. But if you're Atalanta going into this tie, surely that's the time that you press Real Madrid, that you try and put pressure on this team that has shown it has faults.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, they did everything Real Madrid wanted them to do, playing slow, no imagination, nothing, passionate in a way. Well, I don't know if they were intimidated by playing against Real Madrid. They've been in that competition for a long time now, and they should know playing against big teams. I don't know. Maybe we have to find excuses to them because of what Real presented today. Ramos came back. He wasn't on the top, but he's still the boss, and it shows that Real Madrid is different with him. Benzema was on fire. Vinicius, Ali just mentioned, I think on the left side, did everything he wanted. Even Vasquez on the right side. So we have to congratulate Real Madrid. I know, trying to find why Atlanta wasn't good enough. I don't know why. Maybe it was a bad day, a non-game, a non-day for them. But maybe we have to find some positive things from Real instead of trying to find some negative things from Atalanta.
Just going against your point slightly there, Frank. Craig, I suppose Italians will argue, well, look at Atalanta, they're a small club, they haven't got a big wage bill. There's no reason why you should expect them to compete with the likes of Real Madrid.
Italians will tell you every excuse in the book. The bottom line, their teams in Europe this year in the Champions League have been garbage. And that's fact, so I couldn't give two hoots about any of the complaints on the morning. In fact, we could go back to another deja vu scenario from a week or two ago, because they could have went down to 10 men, when the Vinicius penalty kick, because he gives a penalty kick, and I know it doesn't really matter, but there's a double jeopardy scenario about not sending a player off when he makes a clear attempt to play the ball, which he didn't, because he made an attempt with his left foot, which was horrendous, and then clearly tripped Vinicius with his right foot. So there should be no excuses here. Atalanta had an opportunity. We know they have a lower budget than almost all the big teams around Europe. We understand that. But they've got some good players. They can cause teams problems. And as Ali said, there was an opportunity to go and do that. And you don't get many opportunities. But this is a time within some of the teams in Spain that there are an opportunity to go there and maybe cause what you would call an upset. But we're at the knockout stages, so they deserve to be there. And they were flat, and they didn't take that opportunity, and they may not get another.
Shaka, just take us into the psyche of players playing teams like Real Madrid, because clearly it had an effect today.
Yeah, it did. And I think that's the most surprising thing, especially when you think about what we saw from Atalanta all of last season, including in this competition. We've seen from them in most of Serie A that they aren't intimidated by the big clubs. And yes, they are a small Italian outfit, and you know, it will take something special, you think, or something unusual for them to get the better of Real Madrid. But you don't ever, or you certainly haven't seen Atalanta be as limp as they were today. And the amazing thing for me is, as this game kind of progressed, especially in the early exchanges, I couldn't help but wonder if Atalanta came there looking for a 1-0 result to take it into extra time and maybe penalty kicks, which goes against everything about Atalanta that we've seen for the last couple of seasons. And in the end, they had one chance early on. I can't remember who it fell to. Maybe we're having a different discussion. But other than that, it was amazingly disappointing from a team that has shown so much, that they just go against their own DNA and in the end go out to the competition with an absolute whimper.
No surprise, Karim Benzema on the score sheet. Frank, of course, a player who has just exceeded all expectations. Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo leaving. Bale, Hazard were supposed to be the ones that would come in and get the goals. But in the end, it's been Benzema, which always leads me to the question, as a man in France, how he is regarded by the French, Frank.
Karim Benzema is named by, I think, all French people who know football as the best striker that we have so far. Even if we can consider that maybe Mbappe can be a striker, which I think is not. Martial, and you can compare with so many others, Giroud, Coman, who can play on the left side. I think Benzema should be in with the national team if he didn't have any problem with Didier Deschamps. And I think he would never be back to the national team until Didier Deschamps decided to resign. But that player is absolutely fantastic. I mean, he was serving Ronaldo when Ronaldo was at Real Madrid, and he took over. He's the vice captain. He knows the house. He plays well. He scores well. He serves the others. He's always in the right spot. I mean, the 1-2 that he did with Vinicius was absolutely fantastic before he scored his goal. I mean, that guy is absolutely, he's great. He's simply great.
We're going to talk a little later on in the show, Craig, about Manchester City being favourites and who can compete with them. And really, when you look at the teams that have qualified, Real Madrid aren't in that conversation. However, the experience of Toni Kroos and Luka Modric shown once again, and with Benzema, Sergio Ramos, the spine of the team have been there and done that. Could that experience, in the end, help them over the line?
I mean, Man City are favourite with the bookies, but we could all sit and debate about the strengths and weaknesses of City. They've shown it domestically. We could talk about, are Bayern ahead of them? Where are PSG? But I don't think there's a doubt at the moment that Real Madrid are just slightly off that pace. And, but I would never... I'm loath to rule them out for several reasons. Well, I mean, in 2011, I think it was, Chelsea were completely outplayed most of the way through the latter stages from Barcelona and others, and they went to a final with Bayern Munich, and they won it. I mean, it was one of the big surprises. There's been others. So, no, I for all those reasons that you mentioned, Dan, and just on the conversation that you had there with Frank, with Benzema, whose consistency has been scary, then you're always going to get a chance. You're always going to have an opportunity with the talent that they have. So, yeah, they're absolutely, as my camera goes for a little wander, they're absolutely in the mix, but I don't think they're going to win it. Get off this shot.
Oh, I was hoping it would reveal something naughty. You know what I'm saying? But it is... And we've seen this before with Real Madrid, this opportunity for these sort of players to step up in the Champions League. But I think even the most optimistic Real Madrid fan will look at this and just think that's a step too far for them to bridge, isn't it?
It may be. But what you look at if you're a Real Madrid fan, and the thing that you have to hang on to is we have to have Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, and Casemiro all healthy, all playing well. That midfield three, if they control the game, it gives an opportunity for Real Madrid to stay in games, to be able to compete against even better opposition than what they face today. Casemiro will clean up whatever happens behind Luka Modric and Toni Kroos. When Luka Modric goes on the attack and joins in the attack, it makes his team even better. So you just talked about the spine. Thibaut Courtois, Varane, Sergio Ramos, the midfield three I just mentioned, and Karim Benzema. That in itself is very competitive. It's among the best in the world. It's the other parts. So you need to have a Vinicius that not only runs with the ball and creates a chance, but puts a chance away. You need something positive and impactful from Eden Hazard. Good luck with that, because, first of all, he's got to get on the field. So those are the things that you're depending upon in trying to have Real Madrid be the best team. Can they be competitive? Of course. Do any of these teams really want to face Real Madrid? Not really, even if it is this version of Real Madrid, because of the players that I just mentioned. On their best day, Real Madrid will give a game. But their bad days, which have been a lot of them this season, can be really, really bad as well.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.